Welcome to this Wet Fish Films Odyssey. We are diving the Burroo, a spectacular reef on the side of the Calf of Man at the bottom of the Isle of Man, with the Isle of Man diving charters. The reef here is second to none. I've never seen so many anemones and associated life, fish, seals and UK aquatics. Everywhere, every surface is covered. The water is clear, 15 degrees centigrade. The reefs are sheer-sided with a bottom of broken rock and sand. We head towards the reefs and are completely astounded at the quantity of life, not to mention its colour. Every surface, both vertical and horizontal, is covered in every sort of UK life you can think of. If there was ever a place in the UK that should be an underwater nature reserve with a no-take policy for everybody, this is it. After a bit of settling in and sorting gear and generally getting comfortable, we are ready to go. Hold on to your seats for the ride of a lifetime. I appear to have missed a seal, as Les is pointing out to me. As you'll see in a while, maybe I didn't. Now you can see the first reef, and you'll see it's covered in anemones. From top to bottom, every square centimetre. The water, as you'll see in close-up, is full of plankton. I'd like to show this better in a later bit of video. It's no wonder there is so much life. It is spectacular. Time to set up the GoPro, switch on the lights and take some close-ups. I just can't let this opportunity pass me by to show you the close-ups, the colour, the variety of life. It's really something special. seal zooming past in the background. Again, I've missed it. Every square centimetre of every surface is covered in life. Notable absence is the common lobster and crawfish, which is rather surprising. You'll remember in the introduction I mentioned the plankton, the food for this ecosystem. Here you can see it passing in my lights. The Atlantic grey seal, a pup, wonder at its grace and speed. I wish I had such agility when diving, but how lucky am I that it has come to investigate and see what I am about. Although hard to see in wide-angle video, the reef is alive with fish. Again, it's a mystery to me. No common lobsters and crawfish. I wonder why. Is it due to overfishing? Dead men's fingers, the large white sponge covered in small trumpets, are all out feeding and looking splendid, and as you can see, coexisting with white anemones, Actintho spirodita. This has no common name I am aware of. With this, an orange siona sea squirt, and all around this, a sea worm that looks like a plant, Serpula. Everywhere its wiry looking body with pink flower heads. All these organisms are feeding in the tidal stream of plankton that's passing them by. Here you can't miss a big patch of jewel anemones, the smaller cousin of pulmose anemones. Some feeding, others not. They come in several colour variations, not just this pink one, as you'll see in this video. A small group of ballan feeding on the reef. Here we are at around 15 metres. The tops of the rocks have a good covering of sugar kelp, as you can see. Back on the vertical face, and the wall is covered in every type, size, colour and variety of anemone and sponge. It is truly, truly amazing. Here, as you can see, the plankton is now like snow. As you can see here, a bloody Henry starfish and a corn shell are both predators, and clearly they have found a good place to live, a food source and everything they need to take advantage of. The reef is now about 200 metres in length, and there is no let up to the life. Thousands of square metres of rock covered in life and living organisms. The colour and beauty is just spectacular. In the deeper sections, like this one, the horizontal seafloor is almost the same. Everywhere you look, anemones and living companions of every type. Even inside the small caves, we see a repeat of the rock faces. Everything is just covered in life, no matter where you look, what direction, up, down, in, out, it's just everywhere. It's staggering, really. I am finding it very hard to resist. I can't help myself exploring every nook and cranny. Everywhere I look there is something new to see, something else to see. Like this spider crab, for instance. At last I've found a crustacean. If I hadn't looked, I would never have seen it. I get a little excited as my exploration turns up a very mature edible crab. It's very large and I'd guess sexually mature. My hope that there is another of the opposite sex close by. Our wanderings are turning up all sorts of habitats where light isn't often seen, but this in itself doesn't seem to hold back life at all. We as divers are extremely fortunate to be passive observers to the whole section of the underwater world that most people only have experienced through their TV screen. I know how lucky I am, and to be honest, this is why I've been diving now for 45 years. Most anemones in close-up are a wonder of biological engineering. which come in a myriad of colours, tentacles reaching out into the water, taking out food for growth and reproduction. This is the place on earth where it feels most natural to be. I am calm, almost zen-like. In heaven really. When it comes to the end, my ashes will be scattered here, among the life I love. As you can see, we're coming to the end of an incredible experience. Time for our safety stops and to gas off all that excess nitrogen we have built up in the almost hour we have spent underwater on the Burroo. What an incredible dive. Thanks to the Isle of Man diving charters, Red and Bezak, my buddy Les Roos, music by Dan Hennig and Nat Keefe. I am Tony Howells, filmmaker, and this was a wet fish film odyssey on the Burroo, Isle of Man. I hope you've enjoyed watching this film as much as we did diving and making it. I hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.